No, the live stream's not working, so let me just get y'all checked in and I'll just have to post the video after the meeting.
Yeah, that we can use it.
Somebody come to that.
Y'all, leave it
Oh my God, where Barbara came to a
I
full
wore
blown.
all the sleeves and pants because you guys.
How did
look
you
like
get
a
out of your car?
freaking-
I'm gonna
Feels good.
break out into a full blown sweat here in a minute.
Right. I'm gonna need, I will need a parka.
Can I do this from the comfort of my home over Zoom?
You have to let me know at least 8 hours in advance and know. All right,
You can't.
you're good to start, Joe. We'll post afterwards.
All right, Miss Ma'am, get this party started.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to open up the Village Council Work Session Meeting, July 31st, 2025. I show the time at 9:07 because we're having a little problem with live streaming. So I'm not sure if we'll get that fixed or not, so apologies for that. And we're going to get right into the meeting. There's nobody participating from afar, so we're going to move on to the adoption of the agenda. Does anyone have any changes, additions, or subtractions?
Yes, one subtraction under new business. Number two, we are going to remove, consider approving NCDOT's letter for a request of intent from the Village of Marvin for the petitioning of abandonment from NCDOT upon completion of asphalt resurfacing project. We're going to remove that.
Okay, I see that's already been done.
That's all.
I
I
have to do it
have.
afterwards.
Oh, okay. Anything else from anyone? All right, I'll need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Adoption of the previous minutes is next up. Anybody have any questions, concerns?
Nope, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from 7/8/25 regular meeting as presented.
Further discussion, all's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Next up, feedback from previous comment period. Anyone got any
I
feedback?
do. I've got a couple, or actually just one, but it is in response to my statements that I made at the last meeting. There is SCW from Somerset who said that we should be very concerned that it seems very possible that some elected public officials are using various other people's names to publicly comment on political issues, which makes one reasonably question their ethics and decision-making in other matters. So, I'm sorry. And this might include, among others, a young teenager, the son of a Village of Marvin council member who regularly comments on zoning issues. So I'm going to say it again. Jason is a real person. Jason is making these comments. And in my opinion, because this is what SCW said from Somerset, is that if you have comments to make, you should at least put your name on there so we know who you are. And I'm here making comments that I don't need to hide behind my 16-year-old son. And then I would also like to address, let's see here. Amanda R. from Marvin Creek is blaming my 16-year-old for engaging with adults. So let's just think about that for a minute. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. She also thinks that he should come in and make a public statement. So he will be doing that in the September meeting so that you guys can see him and he can make his own comments so that you know he is a real person. So I would think twice about trying to blame a 16-year-old for engaging online because he also has First Amendment rights. And he will be coming in to make a statement in September. I'm good, thanks.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Next up, we have presentations. Stormwater inventory assessment presentation by AMT Engineering. Welcome, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good morning, everyone. Before Philip comes up and presents this study, I just wanted to give a brief overview of it. The purpose of the study that we asked AMT to provide was a stormwater inventory assessment. The benefits of having an assessment like this, of course, are having a knowledge of every stormwater asset in Marvin that we would be responsible for. current condition of each asset. They also provided estimated cost for repair for future budgeting purposes. Provided an easy-to-use mapping system. And that mapping system, the data in that tool can be updated upon any completion of repair that you would have for any of the assets. So it's a interactive mapping system that we can use for years to come, and stay up to date on the assets that we have in our stormwater system. So with that, I will turn this over to Philip to provide the study and how they went about performing it.
Thank you. I have some handouts.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Good morning, thank you very much.
All right, thank you for the intro. And I think Davey covered why do we do asset inventory assessments? So actually our guys go out in the field and map the assessments that we're talking about today, the drainage assessments. They use like ArcGIS software to actually locate it, draw them in, and then they'll do a condition survey based on a certain set of criteria that we'll look at here in a minute. So these are drainage inlets that we're talking about, what we're calling maintenance pipe or just cross-line pipes under the road that's open on both ends. And then non-NBIS pipe, referring to the National Bridge Inspection System. So if it's less than 48 inches and less than 20 feet spanning the roadway length, it doesn't fall under that category. Which typically, if it would, that's typically like a 2-year inspection cycle. So we'll go to the first slide. And so this, we'll start talking about inlets. And this is the criteria that we did the condition assessments on. So those criteria are listed across the top of the spreadsheet that I just handed out. One thing just to note, the first time I looked at this and I see like structural failure, I'm like, that sounds pretty bad. That's intended just to be something that needs immediate attention. It can be, the inlet can be stopped up 100% and they would check off structural failure. So it's not actually like having to replace something. Just wanted to make a note about that. And I'm not going to go through and bore you with all these, but this is just something you can refer back to when you're looking at the spreadsheet, because the titles at the top are sort of abbreviated. And this gives you a description on what the actual, on what it was rated on.
So the ones, not to interrupt, but so the ones we need to be probably concerned right away with that are marked yes with structural failure.
So the inlet spreadsheet we've got, it's broken out by the current state roads are in the top box and the current village roads are in the bottom box. And then they're sorted by the recommendations, which is clean, repair, and replace. So you'll note like, if you're looking in the village box, the first one, or actually the second one, Briar Patch has a structural fail. And
Right.
it's got yes. And then over to the right, it's got an invert fail, yes. So the invert on that box is stopped up.
So when we say that the top ones are DOT roads and the bottom ones are Village of Marvin roads, are those top ones DOT roads that the Village of Marvin intends on taking over?
That's
Or they're
correct.
just DOT roads?
Correct. Yeah, they're all like neighborhood roads that the village intends to assume maintenance on at some point.
So when you say at some point, they're not ones where all, because I know there's a couple that Davey has been talking about that are already in motion for us to take over. Does this include ones that are state roads that aren't necessarily in motion and we're doing this just to kind of prod them, or?
DOT's got a lot, there's certain roads under contract now with DOT to do some improvements on. That would include, those roads would be in this group.
Okay, but NCDOT roads that are not in motion would not be in this group.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Just quick clarity. Well, when I go across those, that's the protocol. I see no's all the way across.
Okay.
And this is the cost of $500. School block. So everything is no on here. You just have that one piece that is still back, is full of blocking.
Correct.
Good news is there's a lot of those.
That's true.
I see narrows all the way across and stuff, still. So, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, the main deficiency is just cleaning some of the drainage inlets out. You know, a lot of them are just stopped up 50 to 100%, and they just need cleaning out. And then a lot of the repair ones are just some sort of erosion control issue, whether it's like the box may have a leak in it that's drawing silt and it creates a sinkhole. So you'll have to go in, dig it out, repair the box, et cetera. Okay.
What you're talking about is.
What you're talking about is the grate and the box where it goes down to. Are you talking about the pipes that sends it into like to the retention pond or sends it into whatever else? You look at that?
These are just the drainage inlets. So on your
Oh,
curb and
the
gutter
okay.
neighborhood roads, this
Oh.
is just the inlet.
Inlets, okay.
We look in the box, and see if it's stopped up or if there's issues, but you really can't see, the storm drainage pipe itself.
Okay, that's.
All right. Any other questions on the drainage inlet page?
Well, I guess for clarity, okay, so I understand the scope of this is to look at the inlet boxes.
Mhm.
But there's a total system involved. Once the water leaves that, it has to go
Right.
down a pipe to somewhere else. So is the village responsible for these pathways and this infrastructure? And do we have right of ways to work on this? Because, I understand fixing the street, but if there's a blockage downstream or silt buildup in the pipe because we have a failure in a box that's drawing silt in, it's eroding. Where do we go from there? I mean, we can't just ignore the fact that the downstream stuff and.
Typically you would address those on a case by case. It's pretty cost prohibitive like you would have to camera every pipe. Of course, you'd pay that by the foot, and I don't remember what the price is, but typically those type failures will show themselves over time. The curb and gutter will start sinking, the asphalt might start sinking. And then if you've got questions about what's going on, you might camera that specific crossing. But to go out and camera the whole system, probably not a good use of funds. Now, if you had a really old system and a lot of issues, maybe. But generally for what we have here, I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Okay. So I don't know who would answer this question, but do we have access to these underground waterways to maintain them? I mean, we've got pipe, got RCP all over the place carrying this water away from the street. how does that get maintained? Is that something that?
Yeah, I mean, there should be public drainage easements platted with the subdivisions. So if there's an issue with a drainage outlet, you know, we would have that easement to go in on and do the repair.
Typically, how far are those linear feet easements? 500 feet? I mean, I know it probably varies, but what have you seen in your,
Yeah, I mean, if you have an easement that runs in between two houses to the back of the lot, you know, it'll run all the way to the outlet of the pipe.
now, just keep in mind too, Cancel, some of the plats will have the obligation on either the property owner or the HOA. It's just a fine little note detail in those final plats that are recorded. So that's something to be aware of as well. If you want to say something, just come up to the mic.
That's what I was going to say, but also if we're taking over stormwater, I don't know the legal, since it's still a public drainage easement, if we're taking over that maintenance responsibility, I don't know if we would have, if that easement then is like, we have that obligation, if that makes sense.
It's a chaplain question for sure, but in the areas that aren't, it's definitely something we need to talk with chaplain about, but just keep.
Yeah, I
keep
mean,
those
I
in
don't
mind.
necessarily know that the village is obligated, like if the issue is at, you know, behind the houses off the right of way. I don't necessarily know the village would be responsible for that. But if it was backing water up on the road affecting village roads, you know, you would have a way in.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume it would just be on what's platted as public right of way and not the ones that are, what we have seen in our experience is private on the plats.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, so that's a sort of a whole different issue than what we addressed with this assessment.
So do we know, are any of these drainage inlets responsibilities of private entities? Or are they all Village of Marvin? Because these are specifically Village of Marvin roads.
I mean, the ones on the roads and within the right of way would be ours to maintain. So that's a definite answer. But we have seen, and I was only making that comment because we have seen experiences where there's been drainage easements noted and people have an expectation that we're supposed to, you know, maintain those. But those, if you look in the details of the plats, they're not in a public right of way. They're on private property because there's a lot of areas that do come in off of a private property, and you don't know until you look at the case by case, you know, individual plats. But typically speaking, if it's within the right of way, it's ours to maintain. And then when we have some issues come up, what we'll do, if it looks kind of not in the right of way, we'll look up the plats and see if there's a note in there about it or if it's recorded in some way, shape, or form. But as a general rule, anything that comes off of the road within that general kind of vicinity is something that we would maintain. I guess that's fair to say.
Yeah, I don't think this survey picked up any inlets in people's yards that was way out the road.
So one last thing for me. So this, the VOM N10, okay, it says undermining behind the hood erosion, dangerous for pedestrians. So when you go in to fix that, is that repair cost going to reflect also cleaning out silt that's gotten into the system when you repair that? If it's eroding, then obviously the silt's getting into the system. Does that include that?
You know, a lot of times if it's a minor amount of silt, you know, just a regular, you know, thunderstorm can wash things like that away. When it gets stopped up and you have to get like a sewer rod or a pressure machine, that's what we would deal with, doing the repair.
I have another question.
Okay.
You're talking about inlets. Do you look at the outlets on also, like they go into a retention pond or anything, which is a DOT? I mean, you know, it's a water state that's responsible for that. Because we have one in my area that it's ponds filled up enough that it's backed up into the drain that goes over the road, under the road. Correct, Davey? So we've looked at it.
Yeah, that was not included with what we
Okay.
looked at.
Just one.
Good question. All right. So that's just the other screen showing more criteria for the drainage inlets and then the recommendation, the recommended action. And this is just a screenshot of what you're looking at with the spreadsheet. That one's just a little bit different. So you can go to the next one. And so this one, we're on maintenance pipe. And again, these are just cross-line pipes under the road. And again, you got your structural failure criteria, percent blocked, you know, where is the blockage, erosion, joint failure. And if you'll just look at your spreadsheet on the maintenance pipe, you notice like the third one has a structural failure, but it shows 100% blocked. So again, that sounds sort of bad, but it's just a matter of unstopping the pipe. And then there's one in the village box, structural failure, where we didn't find the outlet. Is possibly buried.
So quite interesting with something on NCDOT's under their umbrella, it's 100% block and it hasn't been addressed, that they're not.
Yeah, well, they probably don't know about it.
And I guess that's an important part of why we're doing this, you know, because especially if there are roads that we're intending to take over by NCDOT, I think typically our agreements with them have been, they get them up to standards. And this at least identifies that, you know, part of that should be to DOT. Hey, you know, we've identified this, that's part of, you know, what we
Right.
want you to rectify before we assume those roads.
Yeah, we'll definitely pass these along to them and hopefully they'll get them fixed before the village will take it.
I mean, these drainage problems will create other problems with the roadways if not taken care of. So if they're 100% blocked, that means water is either going across the roadway or flooding out somewhere where it should be flowing. So
That's right.
it's going to cause erosion issues for the road itself.
All right, any questions on the maintenance pipe spreadsheet?
Just, I have one, and it's one of the higher priced ones that I see here is on the maintenance pipe, the last one is Linden Court. It talks about rectifying that as $20,000, and that's because it's indicating that it should be replaced, not repaired.
That's correct.
Is that the reason why that one is
Yeah,
particularly?
it's a corrugated metal pipe that's rusted out in the flow line.
And it's
So-
a 24-inch pipe too.
It's like 50
So
feet
it's a
long.
larger pipe and it can't be repaired, it needs to be replaced.
Right, that estimate is like a dig out type replacement. Once we got to the point, the village wanted to pursue that, we would probably look at some trenchlets repairs and compare the cost to actually digging it out.
Yeah.
So there's, I'm gonna show you a picture here in a minute, but there's like a spin casting method that they can do, but I'm just not sure if the pipe's got to be so big. And I'm not sure 24 is the minimum that they can do.
Philip, real fast, I'm not seeing where you have the percentage blocked, like on the second one. How do we know what that percentage is?
You're looking at the maintenance pipe.
Uh, Yeah. Like, I guess we're gonna have to, we as a staff are gonna have to come up with a prioritization list of how we're gonna, with the money we have, how we're gonna prioritize these. And if it's just a, 5 or 10% blockage, obviously it's not of concern, but if it's 100% or 75, so where's that percentage listed?
It's sort of right in the middle of the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
There are a couple of them that have no blockages, but
Structural
the
fail,
structures-
locate issue, and then
Yeah.
percent blocked. There's some 75s.
Oh, okay.
Like that last one we were talking about,
Right, metal.
the metal is failing, but at this
Oh, I see
point,
it. Okay.
there's
sounds
nothing
good.
blocked.
That's correct.
Yeah.
which could cause a.
So
cave-in.
why is it on like the first
Cause
page? Why does it say
catastrophic
block?
failure.
Yes, on the second.
Because it's different. There, one's a drainage outlet, one's the.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay.
It takes a little bit to get your arms around it to look at the spreadsheet.
Now, these pipes are underneath the roadways, correct?
Pardon?
These pipes are underneath the roadways,
Mhm.
the cross pipes. So that one in particular, that steel pipe that is structurally failing, that could cause a cave in at some point if it fails.
It could. I mean, they don't usually happen, unless you get like a hurricane and get 8 inches in 3 hours.
Oh, that's not out of the question, as we well know.
I mean,
from
that
last
could
year,
fail
but,
a lot of things, but normally even if it's rusted at the bottom, they'll still like hang on for several years. Okay, so the other category that we looked at are the larger pipe. And there's only 2 of those. That's your last spreadsheet. And you got a little, some different criterias for these larger pipe, as well. But there's one on Oak Brook Drive and there's one on Woodland Forest Drive. And both of them are circular, corrugated metal pipe, that have some, metal issues in the flow line. So we're proposing just to go in there and pump grout and fill in the voids and get it structurally stable again.
So just curious, from your professional opinion, which is better, RCP or corrugated steel? I mean, as far as longevity and, all that stuff.
I mean, concrete's, should have a longer life. It might be more expensive, more labor intensive to put in. So it's just, it's just a personal choice. I mean, they're both good. All right, you want to flip to there's a couple more criteria sheets, things that we look at when we're in the field. You can go ahead and flip to the first. There's a picture of spin casting. I think. One more, I think. Oh, that's a spreadsheet. Maybe the next picture is a little bit better. So this is one method that you can rehab a metal pipe. You got this little machine on a sled that slings out like an epoxy type material that'll coat the pipe and it'll build up a thickness. You see there in the flow line, that's a spot where they've pumped grout and filled in a void. And so that's sort of what we would do with the 2 pipes that we talked about with the village. But this is one method you can do. There's another method DOT uses a lot. It's like a fiberglass type material that they blow in there and it forms to the pipe, and then cures.
When you
So-
say the 2 pipe, you mean on this last page that you've got labeled non-nimbus?
Mhm.
So this cost of repair this estimated cost is just to do this kind of seal coat almost.
That cost repair is just like, you see the place right in front of the machine in the flow line
Yeah.
where it looks like it's been filled in. That's what we're estimating for those 2 types. It's just where they pump grout in to fill in the voids. Sometimes they'll actually like fill in the flow line of the pipe some.
Okay.
But yeah, this spin casting would be, I think a spin casting like for that first pipe is like 72 grand would be an approximate estimate.
And in a way, you almost look at that like the way we look at fog sealing on the roadways, right?
Yeah.
Which that's more of a longer term, maintenance, to extend the life of what you have
Right.
versus having to replace them.
Yeah, this spin casting is, probably just as good as like a new pipe. I mean, the DOT really likes it. Of course, they like the fiberglass pipe method too, so it's a good procedure. Okay, let's go to the next one. Yeah, it's just another, it's a squish shaped pipe. And this is just a screenshot of what the public app looks like. That the village has access to. So you can click, you see the yellow dots, that's an inlet that, needs cleaning. The orange dots are the repairs. And then if there's a red one, that would be replace. But you can click on those dots and you can pull up all the inventory information. And then you can click on the condition assessment and see like the same thing you're looking at here on the spreadsheet. Some of them also have pictures associated with them, so you can get a good idea for, what the issue is.
So does this assessment indicate all of the Village of Marvin's or the ones that we're looking to take over were looked at, and what we're seeing on here is just the ones that have issues? But all the other ones, which we're seeing here, were looked at as part of this process?
Right. Yeah, the only ones on this spreadsheet are the yellow ones, the orange ones, and the red ones.
Okay.
And real quick, Philip, the boxes that are, the white boxed properties, those are the ones that are not in Marvin. Is that right? Why are some houses boxed in and some aren't?
Those are ones that aren't in Marvin. Those are
The
donut holes.
the municipal limits, okay. And just so you all know, council, as he's progressing on, this is a really good, I mean, obviously you see a good snapshot of how we
Yeah.
can see what's out there. One of the long-term kind of things that we're looking at on this is how we can keep this updated at a staff level or in some level of cooperation with AMT. So we're still hashing out those details. We're also hashing out the possibility of doing some type of citizen-led reporting issue, very similar to the Contact Us submission, to where, if someone on Avanti, for example, that has one of those greens is showing some blockages, they can report in a concern and it can update this, or at least show that there's an alert, so that when we go out and we clean it up, it keeps up with what kind of services were being done, so that when we go back to do this again, we kind of have real time what's transpired over the last couple of years by the time we've, in between these inventories.
So he mentioned it's ArcGIS. So would that be reflected on like Union County Go Maps? No.
No, we have an ArcGIS software very similar to this. We actually have a model very similar to this for all of our floodways. So we're able to, the staff is able to, every time there's a floodplain development permit, come in and check our ArcGIS. And we're trying to see how we can overlay those together so that we're not working in, 18 different layers.
Yeah.
But we're still working on those finite details behind the scenes, and we'll come back to you all if we need some additional funding for, additional work or,
And for this process, just to remind me, what did we pay for this assessment?
I think it was around 30. Yeah.
Not near enough. We definitely went around on this.
It was around 30, and that's a good question, because I have a follow-up question for you, Philip. How often do you think we need to do this type of in-depth survey now that we've kind of,
Well, I can tell you like for DOT, we do 20% every year. So they cover their whole system in 5 years.
so they just kind of rotate that, you just segment out 20%?
Yeah, they'll load the assets on their map, on our iPads, and like I say, it takes 5 years to work the whole state.
So what we would probably do is we've done the whole thing right now. That sets our baseline.
Yeah.
We start to plan for year 6 where we would do 20% and then probably in the order of priority that we see here, you
I mean,
know.
unless we had a big storm or something happen that we, we might just want to do the maintenance pipe or, but
Well, I applaud this council for doing this. We presented this to council, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and I think it was before Davy's time. And at the time, we just didn't feel like it was a good expense. But now that we're taking on new roads and now that we know what we're working with, we can put a good motion into play as to how we want to start addressing these issues.
it's a really good way, like I say, if you start replacing some of these big pipe, you're talking a lot of dollars. So it's good to know that's going to happen and good to be able to allocate the dollars ahead of time.
Well, it would have been nice to know some of this stuff years ago as we were taking on state roads that they could have repaired some of these issues prior to. And we know now, at least the ones that we're looking at, we can.
Well, and Philip.
No, I'm just, but my point is that as we're moving forward, we can identify these issues to the state before we do take over a road and they can repair it and bring it to standard. So
Well, he didn't inventory state roads.
The
ones-
top ones are.
the top ones, the
current
ones that were
NCDOT roads.
in
Well,
process of getting.
those are state roads that we intend to take over.
Right.
It's not all state roads.
Can you tell us which roads they are, so we know, instead of just 4,000, 33, 28, 090? I mean, I don't know what roads they are. So
Yeah.
like, is it Newtown Road? Is it
No, those-
neighborhood roads?
Yeah,
Which
they're all neighborhood roads. I mean, we could,
Can you just get us that information?
would
I don't need
say-
it at this moment.
Yeah.
There's probably a
Oh, yeah.
mountain because I see 1, 2, 3, 4 areas on that one street
Yeah.
alone that.
yeah, I
have
can
issues.
update the spreadsheets and just manually go in there and
That'd
show
be
up
good.
road names.
Yeah, just so we know where the issues lie, and if we can get DOT to fix them.
Yeah.
Then that would be, I mean, the worst they can say is no. So I guess the next steps are, Christina, you and staff will look at VOM roads that are in our current system, figure out what is top priority, what needs to be taken care of, and then we can figure out where we're gonna pull the money from.
We've got money budgeted. Don't quote me on this number, but I think it's around $30,000. We've been, so going back to the point of having this inventory, I would assume that it's a safe assumption that several municipalities don't do this level of proactiveness. They just base repairs on when they come up. And that's typically how we've operated, which is completely fine. But now that we've got this inventory, we will keep it up and we'll know where problem areas are when they start occurring. But to your point, yes, we will take that 30,000 or whatever the amount that we have is, come up with a prioritization list based on, 100% blockages and then whatever's remaining, and then come back and ask for additional funding because it looks like we might need a little bit more. And then we can go ahead and address all these in one
And
kind
then,
of.
okay, and then maybe we can also just go ahead and ask DOT, like for the ones that are still in their system, give them a heads up and just be
Yeah.
like, hey, can you guys maybe do
Yeah, we'll
something
pass
about it?
those along.
Okay, cool.
And then we will also continue to work on this, how we're going to get this updated as it is, as things change. So we'll bring that back and make some recommendations as well.
But we wouldn't want, if I look at this list, I wouldn't want to go to DOT and start asking them to fix it if we know we're not going to take it over for another 5 years, because that's going to change. I would prioritize what, do you see what I'm saying? I would say, okay, if we're going to take this over within the next 6 months or within a year, then have them go fix it, remediate it, or whatever the case may be. Then we take it over, because we don't want to take it, we don't want to recognize it and then not take it over for 5 years. And they go, no, we fixed it. Do you see what I'm
Well,
saying?
I think if there's a problem, this is just my take, if there's a problem, we want them to fix it anyway, just because it's going to be for
Uh,
proper stormwater
I got it.
control.
I'm just,
But yeah, but we'll know when we go to that point that it was an issue, that'll prompt us to go back and look at it again.
yes.
Go to take over that road, we fixed that 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
ago.
And, it's up to you. I mean,
Well, we
now
would
it's y'all's.
reassess it.
Yeah.
Typically, you all reassess it right before anyway, so.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know that I fully got my question answered on how often you said 20%, that's right, you did answer that, sorry. That's all I have.
that would be my concern as we take on this, what is going to be, you know, the annual budget that we need to put aside just for maintaining, and you're suggesting, I would think 20% a year that we're, you know, to kind of keep up on it, or is this?
Yeah, well, I mean, the reason they do 20% a year is they've got a huge system. You know, it takes all year to do it.
And I think it comes also to, you said, how often should it be done? So if it's 5 years, the 20% per year just comes from that schedule of 5 years, you know?
We'd probably learn which ones are the critical ones anyway,
Yeah.
in that process, and that's what we sort of
Yeah.
focus on. But I guess we'd have to get our head wrapped around just maintenance of it, of a typical storm, what that's gonna cost.
I mean, it's kind of the same with the roads, right? Like we've got the roads that are in the system, we've got them on a maintenance plan. So like once we get them and we've now know where we've got current issues, and then next year we'll go out and look again and see where we have got more current issues, and then we'll fix those. And I mean, it's kind of the same.
So in your opinion, knowing what you know about the village, is this something we would sub out, or is this something our own guys could potentially?
Sub-out thing, yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
We can't do this in-house.
Okay.
But the ongoing stuff, like, keeping, these inlets open. That's, I mean, and I know that the city of Charlotte does regular stuff, prior to known storms that are coming in. They clean drop inlets and things to prevent issues. And once these are all taken care of, we can do the same thing, especially stuff that we have learned has become issues.
Well,
you know,
yeah, the reason
tend to
I
get
ask
clogged
is
up.
we recently were on a property, Hunter, and you and I were on a property that we could easily see the issue. It wasn't necessarily an issue where we'd have to go out and sub it to a company, where our guys could probably, it's a matter of, you know, cleaning out their,
Moving a little riprap.
yeah,
That's all it
exactly,
was,
moving
really.
some riprap and stuff around. We saw what was happening for the buildup in their issue, but that, you know, certain things I think would be able to be taken on by our people, so.
Well, and just so you all know, and anyone listening from the public, our guys do go out pre-storm events and look at what we have identified in-house as problem areas, just to make sure they're cleaned out. We do that on our property, then we drive around the entire corporate limits and look at those catch basins and make sure, drop inlets, and make sure that they look good for the problem areas that we've identified.
This just gives them a little bit more information to work off of and know what's what, which is good.
Thank you,
All
Philip.
right, thank you.
Thanks, Philip.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Reports and updates. Managers report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I know there have been a couple of things. I've got two highlighted here, but one, I've had an email regarding some concerns around safety, trail safety, that have been circulating on social media. I have reached out to law enforcement. I'm waiting on a response from them. So just so you all know, have been made aware of it. I am looking into it, and I hope to have an answer in the next few days on that. Second thing, community shred event. There's been some discussion about having a community shred event. We did not budget anything for a shred event. I don't know if you were successful in trying to find someone to,
Yes.
so I'll let y'all talk about that and how y'all want to do that. And then
We can talk about that in open comments, maybe?
you
Open
can.
topics, just to get through.
On the agenda,
Oh,
under manager's report.
okay, all right. I thought we'd just.
We,
Go
we
ahead.
have a person that's willing to put the money up to finance this or pay for it. He has a request. He would like to do it in the Kohl's parking lot. And he would like to invite surrounding neighborhoods. It's his money to pay. I talked to Tyler. He said we could, you know, very easily make it like a Marvin Shred Day, make a banner for it, announce it to people. He would like to have Somerset, Hunter Oaks, Country Club.
So what's the catch?
There is no catch.
Well,
He
and
just
so,
wants to invite other people to it.
So
He
my-
wants,
So it's not just Village of Marvin.
no,
and that was my question. If that's the way that y'all want to do it, how do y'all feel about, I guess, spending public resources, whether it's a
But-
sign or
it
communications
would be
on,
on,
yeah, so the sign is one story. Like if we're going to get a sign, that's definitely spending public resources. I don't know if it's, I don't know how big of a deal that is. But secondly, I mean, if it's just a sign, but using the communications, I think you guys have done communications before for non-Marvin items. So that's a separate issue. I just wanted you guys to talk about it, figure out how, if you wanted it to be a Marvin event,
we can.
is it just Marvin residents
I-
only?
I'm
or is
just,
it-
I've witnessed a shredding event here in the past. And it's fairly big operation where, you know, they put equipment in here and they shred and that's not, I'm trying to figure out, is he's just trying to get advertising for his business?
Well, he would like to get some goodwill for his business.
Okay,
And it's something that, I happen to have a person in residence that lives close to me that has 8 boxes. And, the money that they've quoted her to do those boxes is quite significant. So I thought about, I remember the shredded days, it's been several years since we've had one. And, have one here. He suggested that, the Coles parking lot, he would set it up, he would pay for it. And, we would help him out as far as the advertising. I mean, you know, to make a blast of it in Marvin.
Yeah, and perhaps we could call it Marvin area
Well,
shred event or
we
something
could just
like
say
that.
Marvin Shred Day, period. I mean, that's our Marvin area. I mean, that's up to everybody here.
so does one have, and I was gonna ask this question the other day, but does one have to have their ID on them? Like when you go to the South Carolina, now you have to show your ID that you're either South Carolina or you paid a fee to dump your waste at the, what's that, Foxhole? So, you know, I mean, are we trying to contain it to Union County, Waxhaw, or so anyone technically could come in and say,
So, and I think that's the answer. I don't think there's going to be a way that they can check IDs and determine it. I would prefer we don't do banners just from our standpoint, but if y'all are okay with just doing communication.
yeah,
within-
I think the basic communication for our community, a website or something like that, spending any more dollars on it, I mean, we're letting people know, we give them every opportunity to, we push this information, don't we? I mean, is there a real need to put a banner? I mean, go to effort of printing banners?
It's
I
not
mean,
gonna be a lot of use.
it doesn't cost much, but it could, I mean, the guys would have to go out and make sure they're up. We'd have to probably get a handful of them, and I don't know exactly how much they are, maybe $100.
It's a couple, if you're getting our normal amount, it'd be a couple $100, $500.
But then the guys are constantly having to go out and readjust them because they sag and put them up and all that stuff. It just, I mean, $100 turns into more than $100 by the time you,
And do you think as a council, we would want to do this annually, every 2
I
years, or what are your thoughts?
I asked for donation for 2 years. He agreed to it. Okay?
So 2 consecutive years?
Yes.
So we do banners, I would assume we'd hold on to those banners and just use them for next time.
And our.
Yeah, but then it gets funny with the date.
Well, all you
know,
do
and
is
things
put
like
a,
that.
you stamp a date on there. That's, I think, pretty easy, or we figure out a time to do that. If it's fall is probably,
How do we do, how do we advertise for our bulk collections? We use banners, correct?
No,
Don't
we do not.
No.
We just send out social media.
So
send
then
out
why don't we
emails.
just do that for this? I mean, it's no different. It's, I mean.
All right, let's
that's
do
all
that.
We're
Let's
doing.
just send out an email and post it on the
Yeah,
website.
I mean,
So you guys are good with us sending the communications? I know Austin usually asks, but you guys are okay with that?
do your thing, Austin.
I will
For the
get all the
benefit of the
details I
community,
need
so-
from
And I don't-
Jamie.
I
we'll
don't
go from
know-
there.
I don't-
shouldn't do it.
Councilman Deathridge, I don't know if this is where we're gonna pay for it and then we're gonna get like a reimbursement or,
He's going to pay for it directly.
okay,
That's,
okay.
that's
where
where
I
last
just-
communication I had with him.
And,
Okay.
and just because he's sponsoring it, just to be clear, is he expecting that we'll have his
He has
logo
not,
or?
he has not made anything. He wants to just put it out there. And it, it'd be a Marvin thing and he's paying for it, I guess, somebody's going, at some point in time, if we decide to do it, then we need to say where we're getting the money from.
Yeah,
We'll do our normal communications for it. The bulk event is very well attended, so I don't think we'll have any issues.
Yeah.
I'll just need all the details for the event.
I like free, but I always get suspicious when it's like, what, is it really free?
Well, let's.
And that's great if it is.
Let's just start, it's Mr. Miller. Okay, and that's doing the development across the road on Ray Road and Tom Shore.
Okay.
He's the one that would like the fort to be within, all the areas around there that's affected. He would like, and also from us, he would like goodwill from everyone.
That's,
Because it sounds
Makes
like
sense.
everyone's on board with it. We're not going to do banners. We're going to send it out in the communications. We're good to go. No one has any objections. Okay. Moving on to the second item, or third item, I'm sorry. We did receive notification on July 7th that we have received an additional award to complete the S1B portion of the Marvin Loop inside of your CIP. That is approximately 4,500 linear foot DOT side path from Wheatfield to Saddle. The amount that we received in that grant is $491,000, actually 492 because it's 491,900. It is 100% match, so we do have to put in roughly $491,000. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe 250 of that can be in kind. So I'm still looking into that, which basically means we would have a 250 cash match. But let me dig into more details before you guys get too excited about that. We did adopt a resolution in September of last year to say this is okay. So it's literally been a year since I've looked at this grant. It's been a while. I don't remember everything completely perfect. So just
Good
wanted to let
job.
y'all know.
Good job.
We will come back to you all to actually formally accept this. So you have some time to think about it and you can always deny it if it doesn't work out. But that's for everyone listening, that is for acquisition and construction. So we obviously know we do not have all of the right-of-way easements in that general area. This is for both acquisition and construction, just for anyone listening. And I think that's it. This is I think it's a federal pass-through grant, if I'm not mistaken. So it will require all of the historic, reviews and all those federal permits. It will also require us to go through that same process that we have gone through with the STIP CRTPO, which if you remember, we applied back in 2020-ish. It's taken this long to get to the engineering phase. So it's not going to be a short process, just letting you know. We're roughly 5 years out on that project, potentially 6 or 7 on the Marvin Loop that we're working on now. So this is going to be a little down the road. And actually, I do have one more thing, which is Davy is going to be departing the village in the next couple of weeks. He has taken a new position in South Carolina. So we wish him luck and just wanted to let you all know. Sorry, he's not in here. That's all I have.
thank you. Thank you, Christina. Clerk, communications. What do we
All
got?
right, 2 things for today. First being August communications. You've got the list in your packets. We'll do some event reminders for National Night Out. Since that's next week, we'll send a few more of those. The trail scavenger hunt is ongoing. Candidate questionnaires are due tomorrow, so we'll be promoting those after that deadline is closed.
What time?
Noon tomorrow. That's my next item, so I'm going to get to that one.
All right.
We'll do a recap of our candidate 101 workshop, which we held yesterday. Other than that, it's pretty standard. Coffee with council, meetings, first day of school, WUMA, Habitat Builders, content. If there's anything you all would like to see in the next month that's not on this list, just please let me know. As for my second thing, candidate questionnaires, unfortunately, I don't see it being as big of a success this year. We've had near complete participation in previous years, but With the deadline only being about 24 hours from now, I've only received 2 submissions from the 9 candidates.
Working on
So just reminder, per policy, if it's not in my inbox submitted through the website by 12 p.m. tomorrow, I can't accept it.
Through the website.
Has to be through the website. Instructions
website.
have been sent to all candidates' emails. Candidates have been reminded multiple times, at least 5 or 6 times since the close of the election filing.
I would be one of them, and yes, you will have it by noon tomorrow.
Mhm.
Through the website.
Well, I'll text you.
Those are the rules.
Don't text, please don't text me.
All right. Say thank you, Austin.
Thank you, Austin.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right. All right. Planners report.
Nothing?
Hunter.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, Parks and Rec.
Tough crowd.
No, because you guys got mad at me last time because you didn't think I told you. But there is a
Say what?
neighborhood, I said, because certain members of council got upset because there was a rezoning that they were not aware about. So I want to make sure you guys are, I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just letting you guys know I'm doing my job. Planners update. There is a neighborhood meeting for a rezoning application for the property at 10515 Newtown Road. That rezoning request is from RR to SFR1. It's the 3-acre property there beside the 5-lot subdivision that was approved last year, if you guys are familiar. I don't have it on GIS, but in short, their neighborhood meeting is Monday at 6 p.m.
Where is it?
It's the Patel property. Where the new house was built, the big
Yeah.
white house. It's that property.
There's 3 lots
No.
on this side or
No,
3
there-
acres on
hi-
this side?
His property is 3 acres. He's applying for rezoning essentially to one is his intent, yes.
Okay. Okay.
It's the last one on the right before you go across the state.
It's
Left.
6
Sorry.
at 6 on Monday?
Yes, correct, here at Village Hall. If you have any questions, be happy to discuss, but they just submitted their application about 2-3 weeks ago, scheduled their neighborhood meeting for Monday. Mailings have been sent out. So just wanted to make sure council was aware as well as anybody that is listening online. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
That's it. All right. Tyler, what you got for Parks and Rec? Saw a new date for ours,
Yeah,
our show.
yeah. So start at the top on Tuesday, National Night Out, 5:30 to 8:30 down there at Marvin Eford Park. We got a good slew of fire trucks, EMS, K9 units, county deputies, a lot of cool law enforcement. There's going to be some smaller groups there as well. Free hot dogs, chips, drinks, cookies. Got an ice cream vendor coming out. We got a bounce house. We got a DJ. So come on down, have some fun on a Tuesday evening.
Burgers?
Just dogs.
We did?
Because John stopped flipping for us.
Oh, he's right here. He can hear you. Do you see that man sweating like crazy right now, cooking behind that grill?
Actually, Tuesday, it's only gonna be 80 degrees and overcast, so it probably will be very comfortable.
It's going to be a very nice evening.
Wear a sweater.
And then ongoing right now, through August, we got a scavenger hunt going on all of our trails. There's a little keychains with owls on them. If you find them, bring them by Village Hall, get a prize. We've already had about 15 come in.
I saw them coming in. That was, I don't know why they were coming in, young kids, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Now I realize that's what that was.
So it's
for.
definitely a fun way trying to get the kids out on the trails before school starts. And we've had a pretty good turnout so far. So that's
Whose
cool.
idea was that? All right.
Big boss.
Christina. Big boss. Thinking outside the box.
The owl keychains, whose idea was it? Tyler gave you the credit.
And then kind of something that's going to start here, hopefully the end of August, in this room right here, actually on Friday mornings, we're going to start doing some chair yoga.
For old people.
Yeah, so we'll see Mayor
Hey, I
Polino
see
down
you
here.
there.
And so that's going to be cool. Met a really nice instructor who's willing to come do it. And it's going to be a lot of fun, just something new, try to roll it out, see how that goes. So that'll be an ongoing program we'll do. And then,
We have to show our ID, can like, am I,
Yeah,
it's only
senior citizen
65 and
discount.
older?
no, there's no age restriction,
All
but
right,
it's
I
definitely
just,
targeted
you
for
know.
people like you. you know.
I'm coming. I'm gonna come here and I need some yoga.
And then you guys saw I just sent all y'all a calendar invite. We're gonna do another car show November 8th, do a little fall one. Partner back up with First Class Card. We had a great time back in June doing it. We'll roll one out in the fall, have a little crispier weather, feel nice.
put it on my
So if you got something cool, bring it out.
I'm making sure I am. I'm gonna put it on my list. November 8th, that's a Saturday.
Yeah, we'll do it from 8
Marvin Carr Show.
a.m. to
I already
10
have it
10
marked
a.m.
because of him. I am gonna accept that.
Haven't seen the sun at all.
Only 2 hours?
Yeah,
8 to 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
we went longer than that last time, and towards the end, it just kind of started to drag. So we thought we'd just try 2 hours this time.
Okay.
But there will be breakfast food truck, coffee truck, vendors, a lot of cool cars there. So it's definitely a fun morning for the public and for if you have a cool car, come on down. But that's pretty much it as far as events go. Anybody got any question on events or anything? All right. Yeah, we're also just Parks and Rec update. The bids are due today. We'll receive bids at 2 p.m. for the Village Hall Park construction. So we'll see how that goes, and then you'll hear more about that probably at the next meeting if all goes well. Same for the master plan, Parks and Greenways updated master plan. We received those bids this upcoming on the 4th, whatever day the 4th is, Monday. But yeah.
Thank you. Public Works. Davey.
Good morning again. Want to provide a few updates. Recently, there were some concerns shared about some roads cracking in the Oak Brook Estates neighborhood. I met with our village engineer. We went out and he inspected the roads and found some asphalt cracking in the cul-de-sacs of Oak Bluff Court and Oak Brook Drive. In his assessment, he estimated approximately $2,000 to perform crack sealing on 2 cul-de-sacs. However, he does not believe that the work is urgent. The observed cracking is limited to the surface with no signs of subgrade or structural distress. The cracks are relatively minor in width and consistent with normal aging. Given the conditions, it would be reasonable to defer this work until possibly next spring and consider including it in an annual maintenance plan. This would allow for better alignment with budgeted planning and scheduling without significantly increasing the risk of deterioration in the interim. So he does suggest that we continue to monitor the area periodically through the winter and address any immediate actions if needed. But typically, if we're looking to do any crack sealing work for next year in the spring, which is kind of the best time to do that, then we could combine that with another project and see some cost savings possibly from that.
And remind me, was this instigated by a request from someone on council, or was it a resident that had concerns? Where did the request to take a look at this specific?
It came from me because somebody was online saying that they told me about all this stuff, which they never did. And so I wanted Davey to go out and take a look at it. They're taking a dig at council for not doing what they've asked, and it was never relayed to me. So that's why I asked Davey to go out. But I asked in a council meeting.
And I'll just add to that too, real fast, because the resident that had allegedly made the complaint, I had actually emailed, and that person told me that they had made us aware of the issue in one of the GEO bond discussions or something, some other type of town hall forum. So just a reminder for people in the public, like when you're saying things that are just random comments, it's easier for us to keep track of it if you actually send in a formal complaint or sit down and call us instead of just making some type of passive remark in a conversation, because a lot of times we're focused on the meeting that's at hand and not to say that people, when they bring it to our attention, we're not going to look into it, but if you're just making a passive comment in some level of just passive conversation, it's not sometimes recorded down as something we need to look at, so.
Yeah, Coffee with Council is another great avenue to get information like that to us, because we take notes and we relay that information if there is something that somebody sees out
How many
there.
people came to Coffee with Council this week?
Nobody.
Okay.
Well,
Oh,
Will, yeah, but he didn't really have any questions or concerns. He just came to
okay.
Saw a lot of cars and people.
see what's up. So, but yes, that's a great avenue. Twice a month, one in the morning, one in the evening. We're glad to have anybody that wants to come. And if there are any observations throughout the village that they want to bring to our attention, we'll be glad to relay it to whoever needs to take care of it, whether it be Public Works or any other department within the village.
Okay, anything else?
Not on that. Any other questions about the Oak Brook Estates? Sidewalk assessment, I'd like to give a little update on that. If you recall, a few months back, we were looking at possibly contracting this work out for just assessing the sidewalks, all of the sidewalks inside the incorporated limits of Marvin. We anticipated the cost of that, potentially, being, $50,000 or so. In saying that, staff has since took this project over. We've started the, assessing them ourselves in-house. Timing, we're trying to work it within, between our normal, daily schedules and projects. And so we're making some progress on it, but it is not completed at this time. I would say that, moving forward, there may be a little less time allowed until the next director is in place. But we still anticipate having the full project completed in the fourth quarter of this year. So it's still a few months out from being completed. But again, this assessment lets us know it's similar to what the stormwater inventory assessment provides. It provides, you've got eyes on all of the sidewalks inside of Marvin, and you can determines, we're listing any tripping hazards, cracking, separations. We're following our sidewalk maintenance policy. So we're listing those, rating them from 1 to a 3 based on severity. Once the study is completed, we'll be able to determine the list of 3s that need to be addressed immediately, so we can go ahead and budget for those 2s, 1s, and then it gives us a way to track those. You'll still want to do an assessment probably every 5 years or so, but at least this plan will give us an idea of where we need to address funding first for ADA purposes.
And just to clarify for folks, a lot of these sidewalks and things, we're statutorily having to assume responsibility for, though we may not have, actually planned them or built them, So we're dealing with differing construction standards, differing, many different things that are important to realize, but it's not that we're going out to look to spend money. We're statutorily responsible for these things.
Which really, and I know you want to make a comment, but it really confuses me how we don't own the roads in that,
Doesn't matter.
but
So-
we own the
Right.
sidewalks that we, I guess, approved.
Yes, per state statute, we have to
Yes.
maintain the
Okay.
sidewalks,
It's-
period. Like, it's not even a discussion.
It's not different standards. It's the same standard. I mean, there might be different sidewalk like makeups and materials or whatever, but we still follow our standard and spec manual, so it would be the same.
I'm saying, but when they were originally built,
Oh, yes, probably,
they were,
yes.
they might have been under Union County at one point. They might have been, our ordinances when they were 10 years ago versus 5 years ago or things
Yeah.
like that. So
And it is statutorily, but I think there's a case law and it's either Greensboro or Winston-Salem that had some type of lawsuit against DOT. And so out of that case law, and that this is a memory based on probably 11 months ago, so I could be slightly wrong here, but we do have to maintain those sidewalks just from that case law, which is under our advisement of our attorney. So even though they're not in Marvin's proper.
Do you think it makes sense to reach out to the HOA boards? Because they know their neighborhoods better than we do. But I want to point out, it was mentioned yesterday in the meeting that we did this assessment rather than spending $50,000 of our taxpayer money. We used our staff members to go physically look at everything. So I applaud you for that, and saving dollars. But is it make sense to reach out to the HOA? Because, I mean, give them a reason.
They're still gonna have to go out and look at it. They're gonna come
Right.
out and say, we've got a issue in front of this house at whatever, and then we're gonna go out and we're gonna look at it and be like, yeah, that's not actually an issue.
Your larger HOAs are aware. Well, I mean, we've communicated this with Marvin Creek because we went in and did some repairs in Marvin
But I think
Creek.
Joe's saying have the HOAs go out and do their own assessment and then come back and tell us.
Yeah, I mean, we have the obligation, the
Critical.
liability, so we're gonna do it anyways. I mean, obviously, if they call in a report that there's something wrong, we will address it if it's a liability concern. But I don't think we need to muddy the waters and have different standards of assessment going on. We're gonna go out and do it.
And another benefit is if staff doing the work, we're actually physically putting our eyes on that, and we'll always have that knowledge. If someone calls in, when they call out a road name, we'll have a better understanding of where that could be on that road. And so,
David, address John. You talk about things happening in the past and was not Marvin, it could be subdivision. I can tell you a road that was put in, the sidewalks put in, trees was put in, and a bridge put in that the state didn't know about it, even the county did. It was done by the developer. But now we have responsibility for all of it in some form or fashion.
Yeah, that's actually another example. Tom Short, we did that in Marvin Creek and Tom Short. So
Yes,
thank you.
yes, we did.
Which goes back to, then that would give us the right to take out the trees if we had to, if that's going to be a continuing problem on the sidewalks, because we saw the uproot.
The trees were on the DOT.
Okay,
Okay.
we have beat the snot out of that road. I mean, legitimately. All right, plantings, we got new plantings coming?
yes, update on the Village Hall plantings. Staff just recently planted 9 azalea bushes around Village Hall and 1 Japanese maple. We have another dozen plants or so that are on back order. And we hope to find a supplier sooner than fall, but some of these may not be readily available until fall. But staff is reaching out to a nursery this weekend to see if they can get those for us. But it's a different style of tree that typically is more prevalent around the fall for sale. And
Did we have help in setting those and what to put out there?
we did have help. Jen Castellucci donated some of her time, met with us. We went out and flagged the location. She laid out where she wanted the plants to go, and we followed those orders. And so it's so far looking very good with the new mulch, with the new plants, and that we have more work to do over the next week or two. And then again, I anticipate the rest of it being completed by sometime early fall.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, and quick update on the Wounded Heroes project. I did submit the sketch plans for the courtyard to the representative of the Independence Fund in early July. They are in the process of mapping out everything, and we'll look to have a professional draftsman create a formal rendition based on that concept. And I think the new projected timeline on that may be the end of September, early October, if I'm.
Yeah, I gave, I'm taking over this, and I gave Clark a deadline of the last meeting in September. So I told him I needed 100% plans by then. So hopefully he'll have it. He's accepted that that goal date. So hopefully we have some better information then.
Fantastic.
And then the last thing I'd like to share, I think all of you are aware that I have recently accepted a new role with another city in the South Carolina. I'll be leaving for the city of York. I will say it was a tough decision on my part. I've been with Marvin just shy, about 6 weeks shy of 2 years. And I have greatly enjoyed my time here. Marvin's a special place. This is a special council, special staff. It's been a joy to be a teammate of everyone. My public works staff has been great to work with. They've supported me. They've allowed me to lead them, and they've been positive with that. And I can't say, I can't express the appreciation I have for all of them, but just wanted to share that with anyone listening. And I certainly appreciate each and every one of you. And I can say you have a friend for life moving forward. So thank you for all your support.
Thank you, Davey. You'll
Appreciate
be
it.
missed. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you so much. All right, moving forward, we have coffee with council. No one showed up other than Will. It was just some conversations. So really no issues or anything that have been brought to us. So that said, we're going to move on to consent agenda. I need a motion to approve this consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Unfinished business, discuss and consider revisions to 2025 community survey questions as recommended by Centralina Regional. Has everyone had a chance? Centralina.
Centralina.
So
Lina. Lina.
So I provided you all a handout of this because your monitors are on the fritz right now. Centralina came back with some good feedback. I'm gonna put it on the screen. I just want to walk through these with you all just to make sure we're on the same page. I want you to just say yes or no to the changes they recommend. They first recommended adding a blurb to the beginning of the survey, just explaining the purpose. I kept it simple with what I drafted here. Thank you for taking part in the 2025 Village of Marvin Community Survey. The results of this survey will guide the village's strategic planning efforts and projects for years to come.
Looks good.
Looks good. If you want any other details, let me know. The first question that we have on the survey is what neighborhood do you live in? Our colleague with Centralina noted that having this question won't produce any data. It definitely has its use to us in being able to identify. If you want to see a change there, we can try to pull some data. We can. If you're good with this, we'll leave it alone.
I want to know what neighborhood they're in. I know it's not gonna, but we did it last time and we were able to have like a bar graph of how many people, so.
Okay. The remaining
I don't like the
question,
quadrants.
huh?
I don't like the
Yeah, I
quadrants.
don't either.
So,
The remaining questions in this first section, they haven't been removed. Well, one of them was. They're mostly just been moved to different sections.
Okay.
Moving these ones about funding sources to the very end, really asking if people's opinions would change on the survey depending on how they're funded. Other changes, they did recommend deleting these questions right here, because there's some overlap with some other questions. One of their concerns were, we asked a lot of good questions, but we asked a lot of questions. And you do get to a point in a survey where people get tired of answering questions and they don't finish it. That was the only big concern from Centralina. So do you guys want to keep this question? Do you currently utilize any Village of Marvin parks or trails?
And you say that that's actually asked somewhere else as well?
There's another question that specifies, for what activities would you like greenways to be built for, implying that people are using them. So I'm just asking if you guys think there's value in having that question.
I would like to know who's utilizing trails.
Huh?
I would like to know.
Okay.
That's an easy
Yeah.
question. It's a yes or no question. It's not even like a thought question. Do you use them or do you not?
All right, I'm just gonna put a little check note in here. Okay. Keeping it going. This one about walkable connectivities, they recommended giving people options instead of leaving it open-ended. I can develop some options, kind of keep it generic so that we can get some questions that can display some data, or we can leave it open and I can have them produce a word cloud or what common for common, basically showing us what were the most common responses. Just give me your thoughts there.
Are we talking about number 16 or 17?
This one right here, why or is not walkable connectivity important to you? They recommend changing that into a multi-answer question, just so they could be, you could display data.
I'm trying to wonder how you turn that into a multi-answer
Leave it the way it
question.
is.
Okay, we'll leave that alone. Keeping it
Because if you
going.
have a strong opinion about it, you have a strong opinion about it and you are going to want to tell us why you like it or why you don't like it.
Okay, keeping it going. Recommended change here, they recommend changing this for what activities do you currently use greenways and trails, or for what activities would you like them to be designed for? This is essentially, for the reason they wanted to get rid of that previous question was to merge it into here to make one question out of it. So essentially, if you don't use the trails, you would select none of the above.
Yeah, I still think you want that other one and this one specifically that kind of hones in on uses.
So do you want to reject this change in wording here?
Yeah.
For what activities do you currently use Greenway Trail? So what do you want to change on?
So the text in blue is what they were recommending adding, changing that question slightly to encompass, make it a little larger question. If you don't want to change the wording of that question, I'll reject it and we'll leave the original wording.
I actually accept their change and still don't feel we need to get rid of the other
Okay.
question.
Are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll accept that. Keep going. They recommended removing this question. Would you like to see more parks, open space and recreation?
No.
They think,
Leave it.
they basically thought you're not going to get a lot of useful information out of that. Because if people are answering positive on other questions, you're
Leave it
going to see
alone.
that answer. So do you want to leave that one in?
Yeah.
Okay. And here's how they addressed it. How do you feel about the number of parks, open space and recreational amenities? Do you want to change this question to add this wording in, or do you want to leave it alone?
Leave it alone.
You want to just go with the original wording?
Yeah.
Okay. This one here, they like the question. They say, they think there's way too many options for people to choose from.
Space.
I mean,
Basically, no.
I think that helps people.
So do we have too many?
I like the options because it gives people ideas of what to
So
put. I mean, when you put very limited amount, then people have to search for what.
People know why they've been to the park. They either went for an event, they went to walk their
and
dog, they
just
went
look
for a
down
birthday
and they
party.
pick what they want and that's it, you know, I mean, I think that.
I'm sorry, I skipped one.
Oh.
So we can not, this one up here, have you visited the park for what reason? We can leave that open-ended if y'all like.
Yes, I want to leave
Yes,
that one
yes,
open.
So we'll reject that. The 17 had a lot of options. She thinks it's very busy. Our colleague with Central Lina, she's done a lot of surveys. She thinks this is too many options and it'd be better to group them together and narrow them, grouping various types of athletic fields together, like moving disc golf into athletic fields, moving sand volleyball courts into that, for example.
No, because we
I-
don't
I
have
think we
these
wanna
things. So I
know.
want to know if you want
Okay.
these things. Some of them we have, some of them we don't have. So I want to know
So-
specifically
The-
what
the-
people would like or would not like.
So I'll reject that one too. Or let me scratch that down.
I mean, how are we supposed to know how to develop these activities if we don't know specifically what activities the public wants?
Exactly.
I mean, you know, we are talking about a small village. We're not talking about like city of Charlotte. So we're trying to develop certain amenities for the people with, you know, purpose.
Keeping it going, they recommended merging the sports complex and aquatic center questions together to make just one question. Do you have any interest in partnering with other municipalities for a sports complex or aquatic center? And your options just give you both.
I'm fine with that.
Me too.
That just simplifies it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Keeping it going.
Look at the information.
All right, this is only question they thought was leading. Do you support a new position for staff dedicated solely to finding grants to fund larger projects? They didn't like the phrase, over the previous 5 years, the village has acquired almost 4 million in grant funds. They thought it could be leading in either direction. Someone could read it saying, look how much we've gotten. We can get more grant funds if we hire someone. Or someone could read it as, they've already got 4 million. Why do they need to hire somebody? So they thought that could cause some confusion and yeah. So
Oh, people overthink it
So-
all the time.
they're recommending that we just take out that second clause.
Okay,
Are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay.
Trust me, I do not want to lead anybody down a path they do not want to go. I want honest answers and as non-leading as possible.
This next one I personally disagree with, but I will let you guys decide. They recommended grouping together the wayfinding signs, the monument signs, and the decorated street blades as a single question.
Yeah, no,
I think they should be separate
me
persons.
too.
So if you guys are
Because
good.
they're all very, very different with very, very different price tags.
Exactly.
And we're trying to get actionable information
Correct.
from this.
So
for
if
the
you, if
future.
you lump them all together, we're not getting the information that we
muddy.
actually want.
So you guys are good with leaving these separate questions?
Yep.
Okay, we're almost done. They recommended changing this question. If, I'm sorry, they scratched so much out here. Basically, they reworded question 37 here. If you are not subscribed to emails from Marvin or wish to see more emails, what type of information would you find most beneficial or informative? Again, they recommended us giving options here. If you guys want us to give options, we can, or we can leave it blunt.
Leave it open-ended.
Okay. Do you want to consider the way they recommended changing the wording?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Make a note. So okay. They recommended removing this question here because it's redundant. The question above says, where do you receive your news information about Marvin?
That's fine.
Official village social media accounts. They wanted to take it out because you're asking the same question again.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Good there. And then the only other change at the bottom was just moving those questions from the beginning to the end.
Okay.
Are you guys good with those?
Yep.
Check.
I'll make a
That's-
motion to approve the final draft of the 2025 community survey as amended.
Further discussion? Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
What's the time frame for this now?
So we are doing good. We're staying on our timeline. Right now, we're working with Central Lina on the design of the postcards. Polomi's already been working on that and the banners. We're in the final stages of prepping the drafts of those promotional materials. They're going to be very simple. Pretty picture, participate in the survey. Here's your code. The survey is still scheduled right now to open in mid-September and run for 2 months.
Perfect.
And then we would have a report back in January, probably the work session or regular meeting, depending on when we get the report and if we have time in the regular meeting. So that is all I have. Any other questions?
No, thank you. All right,
Good job.
next up, discussion of cost estimates for assuming maintenance responsibilities for Newtown Road from the Waxhaw Marvin Roundabout to the South Carolina state line.
Hey. I don't know. Do you want to? I was waiting on you to say if it was good. Okay. All right, so we're gonna move stuff around on the agenda. Sorry, Davey. I'm gonna make a motion to recess into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143.318.11A3 to consult with an attorney to preserve attorney-client privilege and to give instructions Chris/Victoria Komisky v. Village of Marvin / Kim Vandenberg, 25CV 0004445-890 and 3:25-CV-00087-FDW-DCK and 143.318.11A6 to discuss personnel.
All right. Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll go into closed session. Do we need to bring anything?
I'm gonna live stream this way. Back.
That's fine, but we don't need our thingies.
Do not know.
Sorry.
That one,
no, that's on me. This is where I was like, yeah, actually mix it. I was just gonna be nine. Yeah. Technically, it's the person I did. Sure, but I got soccer and playoffs started. So I got one seed. One seed and one.
Throughout this one, because I'm a Catholic, which I think is good, except for maybe the check is some of that. Right. I'm trying to see wrong.
Started like that. My wife is so. I got silence. It's so not good.
Yeah.
The tickets for the second one. Look at Article 5. It's. The site, I'm pretty sure. I say that. Maybe so like second, so. Usually, yeah. Gee, now people right there on their, I think we're like road in. That's it's complicated. Oh, well. Oh, yeah, probably, you don't. Want to hang out here.
I just, I don't have to do that.
No, I don't have to.
I'm just scared of going into sharp.
And going around the city.
But, and the mayor's issue,
No, I don't think people saw that, right?
it was in the email.
Well, so there's some proof.
No, yeah. It's in the email. You sent me. But somebody sent the email. Okay, well, the mayor does anything. We say.
If you have that in 14, they put it on the screen, so like, look more.
Take a little picture.
Yeah, okay. I'll just grab it.
No vulgarity. Representing the village.
Be shot there. Well, these are the people that come vote.
See if you get to it at the same time.
And I'm like,
But we gotta get to it. Those things.
got a chance. Well, I think that's taken a long time, you know, it's mess and everything now, does it go back to the canyon, back to the overhead up, so it pushes down the line and we're, you know, like, yeah, we're doing it there. Because I start on about this, when I sit, they're wrecking out. Okay. And I'm like, in that section, so I got set on the first row forward instead on the back row, that lower section. My radius is like off for sure. Yeah, and if they could foul one straight back, it's gonna have enough, yeah, you know, getting past this, so. But now the first base line, third base line, is what else is involved. Yeah, I mean, boys, younger kids trying to take. One of my biggest regrets in town. I think you really hate it. Right forward. Charlotte and I still there. Okay, forward, you know. And so I was there one night, and it wasn't a lot of people there. I'm like, you know, I'm pretty, oh yeah, some fun one. And my ball. It, I was on a press box came down and I called him. And, you know, I didn't want, like, your kids were running around and I oh, no, I don't. I was thinking, no, you gotta start giving some, you gotta give them all to the kids. And I give them all to the kid. I remember going to that stadium, when I was young, I was like 10 or 11. Maybe 12, I was going, for any one of the kids that, I'll do this. Hey, man. Now, I remember thinking, even then, I was like, man, this is not, you know, nowhere. Yeah. And because I never turned on the lawsuit. Actually, yeah. I never turned on the lawsuit. But I also said, it's pretty, Yeah, get through. I just feel like I think y'all were around last year, I think, on your land, all campgrass, dogs, or all. Yeah. You're having back, I think you're on different types, right? Like, yeah, it's like when you get, so you feel like actually, like, yeah, national, it's national content. We got ranked out last year. Everybody else was done over, which did it like 2 weeks later. I'm getting tired. Yeah. That was good. For Shayla and Jan. But this year, that ground, been down to the shop, it's a flat top of the side, rear, it's just a white stone. I'm kind of, we got a spatula, they can roll back and forward. Yeah, I'm a brand one. Monday. I didn't want to do it that, so I want to get that greasy, but Monday I'm gonna load up and call him. Spray it and see if the parts at all, you know. Oh my God. I'm trying to figure out, like, what I do with this around, we can go across that, so he did like, and you have to read it, interrupt the dog, so that interrupt the dog, it's. That interrupt the dog, ordinance, something I just read, apparently only applied to. Here's the license. It's not very cool, it's not a single, what is the reference? What, you know, the opposite. Garbage, so. Right, the first time, we can go over the small market, it was. But he's had, probably, when it was the Charlotte fire, something that happened, to pick up very big, was that in the booth, like booth. This is all we ate, how we done, yeah, I mean, the shit, there's not put down, I thought it was good. Yeah. We can do that a couple times. But that's why. It's hard to get down. Down in the line. Friends. Close family. Strong things. And they're on. Oh, my oldest son is that. So you all need today. I love it. But yeah, they were playing in Minnesota, so they as a person, the correction. I was not able to see it so much down, but. Yeah, that's the most problem I ever is. He bring one from. Yes. Yeah. Also, yeah, this is my was not involved with it from that. And I will find it. I don't know. That's I love it. That. So. I love it. I love it. I never watched it out this year. Always back. Every good. That felt like we did our voice that movement. We won the site water, they beat my whole trans football league. I ate like $150 when we went, got to the right party, had a big marathon food. Like we got to walk around and down, all you get on the break at the right party. Got to go down the field, it was cool to hang out. With that, we got tickets, like we were Saints of those places, but still was there. That school was doing the practice, these spots had like the serene, and we were just like, it was awesome. That's all that anymore.
I really, this was on, I mean, this was 2021, something like this. I don't even know what, you know, everybody's got free, like, do a big time, and I just get stuff. I read it. So I was very intense. Counseling. Rocky, it's solving that consider year after year, commissioners do that. One person. So since I know that. And then I was trying to figure out this. Or got big last year. So they're not working. Yeah. Like all. May. Like all that, it's supposed to go to, but I'm wife's, she. Middle right next to yeah. She's Sasha, but yes, I like it, but I don't know, I'll be fine. Where I call the verdict or I'll do this, I mean, I look. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not very. So, actually, for years. It's saying, you verified first July, so I don't, with the skis, as long as they've been watering them, I would say they go pretty well. I think they got to be, not now, but at least. They're not gonna go bumpy. It's just the last thing. The last 2 years, I think we're gonna have to, I think they're gonna have to do. Like, they're good, but I'm starting to see some organic come in. Are they, yeah, or they're very good, yeah. And once organic gets in, can't really, maybe go stop. Like, I don't think it's gonna be basic on grass, you know, like how they. It's not like you can cut it out. Because the whole, the and everything, so it's like. We did them, we put them in like 17 years ago, it's my understanding it was supposed to do a year from here, 10 years. But, yeah, it's like where I said I can technically provide. Well, or provide anything, or I can pull my paper, like your. But you just let me know, because we never had a place, you might as well, yeah, I'm very. You know where it's going on, but he is. Definitely. I gotta look at things you playing. Well, that's, it's like, I haven't, it's not, I gotta examine, this would be summer that we did my lawn. So, like, practice and do like one of my game. And. It's just like, I feel like I haven't, and there's days I go out there. Like, I'm such a field player. There's days I go out there, and one, I'm starting to notice like, since I've gotten married with my wedding ring, like her team stuff, Jim. And that, in my opinion, makes a difference with how I hear the club. Mine stuff, but at the same time, like, yeah, I played at the, like I said, the Friday before I'm in the room, like, June 21st, or something like that. I shot 73 with like 4 6 birdies. I think I hit like 13 out of the fairways, maybe like all of the fairways. And I could be 18 and 9, which are 18 par 5 and pretty par 4. Where I was shot in the ball. And then I go out the next day, what's actually going on, but all right. And then next week I had to play, because I Friday I played like my quarterfinal match, I had to write, I'm going to see about one season. And we played all of that, so there's a little discrepancy there, but there's a whole that does make it more smaller that. We played with Combos to report on that. I shot like 8 times. But that day I actually felt like the week before, I would say after we would, then straight, like, and couldn't even get that. And took like a week off, then I think when they like left it,
down some game kind of area that, you know, played in the conflict, but, child like, maybe like 77 for the game. And I played like 12 old ones, yeah. Was like a 30, I was like, I got like 4 or 5. So it's like a 90 right now, so. But I got like Mark, like, when he's still working, she's actually found here for, she was the repairs for now, this is, that was, she getting married. This is they're like second legs, so very small, like, they're able to put the box up, $50 a month, like, for something like that. Yeah, but they're fighting her and the dog and we played, because in house, they found right, like, you went with the last year, very funny, but not shot even more. So, like, my last little, oh my god. Yeah. But I was like, you're good with the last, like, this is one of these things, like, I just think I'm wasn't in here, when I moved to God, like, there's a fine line, because like I have to hear enough, like, get my lines right, like, or, like, I have to go, like, movies, all that sort of, like, trying to do it, like, that, the extra 73, it's like a perfect, and I had to drink 40 off, and I was just like, I was locked in, but I wasn't, so maybe not the first goal, I won the second goal, the third goal. But I wasn't like nervous. When I played my one team, like, I got, you know, playing, I was like, because he's not gonna give up, like, he's not gonna screw up, right? Like, he almost did, but. So, I don't know. So I thought, yeah, I really got me, I wanted to do. All of my, and I was looking to be tired of something, like, you know, said I do next year, but I really fine. I mean, I got an iron set program, a lot of what's it at. And I'm not gonna spend $1,500 to grand on set. We are now, to the JPX 921s, the process. So I will over that. I got them 21 set forward. They're great, they're in good shape. We got project that's LZ 5.5 shafts. But what we got to do, that's what it's on them. And they've gotten better. Like, my paint caps actually on them. They're on the irons as much as it is short thing. That's like, I got 7/18s. Mine are almost 8 years old. 7 years old. And I had 83s, which I had 82s prior, which like the two were, you know, the one that's, you know, like 800. And at the time when I got seated, I had that in the first hit, my game was all over the place. So going at 83, I hit my irons ready. What's crazy is I didn't hit it, I think 3 times, but I've done it. I did a full back, three back, not very good. Taylor Mays came to verdicts twice in the last 3 years, and so I would, you know, it's pretty big, so I would go do it. And every single time, now, club champion probably could do it, it was put stuff in the full bag, and I wasn't focused on it. The guy was like, I'm not gonna have to get it. You know, I find things together, but every single time, nothing beat compared to how I was getting mine or not. But the issue is like, one, I think it would be like, the new chief, I think it's has the T250 or essentially what I have now, they work. It's from how much technology has changed, so that's just the thing, it's like, well, they don't think like, so here's my 7/18, so we be solid. It doesn't have any that like the speed ball, it doesn't have any type of follow research of like, that's why when I did swear, which I'm pretty good with my contact details. But that's what we got, yeah, like, be able to start working on it, but I'm like, that's the biggest kind of like smoothing off, because like, you know, Calvi's taught us to say that they're more forgiving. He was like, all because they're more forgiving doesn't mean you can't work it. And it's like, you know, there's stuff that you can do to really. But, it's like, I just feel like I truly think like I just, the order that they get dead. The face, like, sort of wear and tear, like, you, all that sort of thing, I feel like they get dead. So I might start saying, how to try to pass the next three. But you're probably 3%. When I trade, I'm trying to get $220. That's not, that's all they own. Because they had a deal going on, motor back in the spring, but we get 50% addition to that, it don't, free on some change. You start looking at new sales, $1,400 plus tax. $300 a year. I'm sure your guy is wrong. Actually, all right. Why do you do this? $100. So clearly on the JPX 920 months. The roasted it. The Forge Tour 9. The hot metal program. Okay. Ford additional. 4 through, yeah. Yeah, through 70. Average, even at average condition. So their PGA of America has a value guide. This is what I know, like Golf Galaxy or Casers or history of trading values. Would be one through, but I was looking through the website for Golf Galaxy features. Yeah, this is PGA of America value guide. Like, so this is. Because I've truly been a few things for years. I was like, well, I thought I got to find out from me at the time. It's like, but right now, I don't really have to. I sold my old Taylor and graphics with like 250, which really because I had a silver shaft and it had a silver on it. But the only thing I've got is a little butter fell over a Scotty that was neat, but the butters that I found kind of well trades. I mean, that doesn't, yeah, like I want to get I had to be able to do that a lot. I wish I still had, but that's kind of like I wanted to get back to the way. Living cocaine, I think it's how plan. It's gotta be what it is, and I got like backup with Katie Reed, so I can set up plays for the next years. I'm saying one. Hopefully, we would. I need a driver. I think my freeway kind of fine. My freeway was over. My freeway was open. Zero daily that obviously once it messed up and I did it more like that's not my for the last month. I was 3 weeks. Right, you gobbled up, the ones that are out there. Or I would take those, well, I found, so when I was talking to somebody on my people, 3 wheels aren't regulated the same drivers. So it's like, depending on the year, certain wheels still are. It's not that they're not conforming, but there's new technology or something in that. You know, or like that, thing, like on the side, it has something hot phase. So that's why I said, I swear out, I don't have to, it's 8 months, I and that's just making my yard right now, half of that with this. That's good lot, it was 2 years ago, it's in the fall, I could have been my yard, where it was like, CSRs, I was trying to stop something that's. They gave us an 81, my drivers go out and something, like an idea. Like 6 months later, after January versus about 8 months, it happens to drive like. It's like, this, that, with, I was like that, like. What would be like? You had no idea. First, the deal was bad. So I was like, all right, I mean, I used to get one of the car one. That's what I used to get like every 2 years because the way the titles like get over and once you plug apparently as long as it's in the same number of titles fall back. It doesn't matter what you're on. They did right or they fell back. So every year we log on to get a seven or I would go down there and trade out the plays. So you those. That's great. Yeah, that was great. And that's like the way out we call it cost. So I remember I need to think about so that's a lot of so that's the thing about it's like the same policy set there's a reference that yeah, you didn't want to that's about the awesome. That's why I messed up. I had I love things. I had AG come by, they all went. Had tried it for 10 years, 10 years, and I just wanted to live on over. For whatever reason. That's all I do. I sugar stuff, sugar 4G 4.5. I don't have to have right along with the G series player name. Oh, look, I like doing offset where others don't. I just never had that. For whatever reason, I've never had it. Sorry, about it looks good too. The only feel would be in the same face, and that's all here. I like Cadillac, you know, I said this, my agencies are great. It's just once again, they're not as ridiculous here. It's got, I would like to, not try to save up some money and make this fall be good with iron fitting or history. Just to see. And results come back at the end of the day. Like after I spent 3 hours in really balls and my computers, they still can't find it. That's worth the same money around this. Like if I can get something to work consistent and something that's boxing, you know, it's further because I have one. But and that's the one that's scary thing. I'll find something to get further that I'm going to keep down. Like that's what I think probably some newer model thing. Stronger wall and so I can get my pitching wedge typically 130. But if I catch you just right, 50. I never know it. Yeah, you know that's frustrating. Kind of shooting so Well, that's like, I got to think about what is I put it 50, 54 with the exact line for the high. About 50 degree, and it could focus your points. And so, by 50 degree, I needed 125 and we're, it was really consistent like that. So I got really good at finding my visual problem. I got really good at finding my movement, like I would literally choke down and just have to move my stance and just keep my vision, but that was about, I don't know, I was consistent with it. Now I got 48, I put 48, 54, 58. 48, I was sitting on tracking with 85, 125, finding about 118 actual conditions. Now I think a little piece to be changing, if I got flattened out, press it a little better, probably get that number. But that's, if I'm really trying to work on, I think next year, I need to spend. I need to spend out like the bonus here, making sure my team all good, and then working on that every evening. Because and that's somewhat like, even though I feel I'm that high, and I used to have one, I would almost try to play with was like that. And try to lock it or something. Have a play where unless you're looking at so, but yeah, I like decided to go on. But but it's like the last 2 years, like when I first started here, you know, I guess I would think that all this kind of movie and every fucking hours there, and I'm almost putting it in Friday. The last few years, we just thought we could do better. I mean, I still go out some Fridays, but most part, it's like, no, I think that's not like that, you know. Take care of me, it's just, and I have been. So they're all, I'm right, but all right, I'm right, literally, but now it's like, you know, it's just this. It's not that perfect at all. It hurts. It looks like a almost faded Midwestern kid, you know, just about faded. You know, and I don't even think it'll be East one New Jersey. People give it like even my problem. It can be so good on the it's going, it will be trained on those things. I mean, it is going to be goblin problems. Just shades from the off. But you try next thing yet? Let's go. I'm very popular. Yes, that is bad.
Either way, it's like,
those are some of the poor guys who we suck, because, you know, farm, grass farm, like. But they're kind of getting similar, that's what me and the child was at. And it's like, they sold me traditional way. On a bigger grade, bid was then, at least in that department, when you have to look at that, I'm thinking. Sixteen minutes back, yes. They're, I mean, they feel low balls. Hey, there's 7 games, low ball. There's 7 years back at home. There's no players. Nobody can even. That's what it is. When you name ball, I think I can name balls better right now. Yeah, I roll. Like the right. You hear it? Like, oh, it was right. How long was it long? Oh, sorry, Mayor, Solution Mayor, or Mayor. Yeah. Marlins. I was even deciding the same goal. Mariners, there's our Marlins. They have that one guy who now plays for the Yankees. That's me. Oh, David, it's on fire.
Yeah, you never have too many. Arkansas, in Arkansas. Husband, wife, $2. And set behind the trailer. Devil's Fork. Or it's do, just attack the parents, the staff, kill the girl around and safety. But it's other parents. And then after a week, we found the call. Reading the story about that over there right there, say one, somebody when they're down in the. It's like a little high, yeah, spray gas. There. That's just. That's not. That just scared to go for it. And they get the crap people in the. Something. I should have rolled the ball. See, there's 22 of us. I hear this thing, yeah. I don't know, yeah, this is probably getting, well, at least we can see it in marriage. Yeah, we can see. This is very early in our neighborhood. That'd be funny. Yeah, I'm glad it started at 5, probably 7 o'clock on Sunday night. And then I'll be there. First 1,000 people in the ballpark. We got the ball in. Are you serious? I know. Yeah, so then it folds. That's not that long to sit there. That's insane. Yes. You get it on my call. Exactly. I already told them, we're gonna leave by 3. Back then. I didn't put something over hard. I've done it in a long time. I don't know if they're part of maybe here in the stadium, something. Is there? Yep, right beside it. And I'm Junior Park. Kind of my direction, I'm on 277, I jump off on. I forget the name of that road, but the road actually runs, it's when I turn left on this road, it's a straight shot, it's 2 blocks. To the football stadium. So I drive past this football stadium and I take a left on the next light, you can go straight, the ballpark is between the 2 roads. So I go to the left, go around to where the entrance is. They have restaurant, apartments, and then a big open, you can pay lots, but you pay the parking. I pull behind the apartments, that's where the parking area is. You got one of those pay kiosks, go up there, put your card in, you get a ticket. Now I just walk across the road and do the stadium, and people forget this factor, it's not sight. Yeah. So no matter how crowded it is, I typically find a spot there. I can even imagine stuff. And everything brought there overflowing. But part of it is living right passion. Passion. It's saying, all outside is there's a road, it's right, sunset.
The food smells really good. Are they eating?
Oh, that's.
Maybe you'll see the opposite environment.
How long were yours? What? How long were your two last items taken? How long were your last two items taken? Oh, it shouldn't.
We're going, once they get back in here, we'll be done in like probably 15 minutes. Depending on how long you guys come.
Food's in there. It looks for, but I mean, food.
We have not come back into session. Christine, you need to say that.
Oh, can you grab it off the copier? Did we get food? What is it? Seriously?
Christina, he can read it now, right? Also today? And we all.
Double sided.
I gave myself a copy.
You ready now?
Yes.
So I'd like to make a motion to move back into open session.
Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I'm going to read a quick statement that we came out after going into closed session, and this is on behalf of council to the community, and it also, I believe, be read in the regular meeting. So residents, the statement goes as follows. Residents have recently filed suit against the village and other defendants where it is alleged, among other things, that the easement granted by the Marvin Creek HOA to the village is illegal. The village, Kim Vandenberg, and the HOA filed motions to dismiss the lawsuit, and a hearing was held on June 30th where all parties were heard before the court. The attorney for the HOA and the attorney for the village and Ms. Vandenberg argued that the easement granted by the HOA to the village to build a trail was legal, and therefore the lawsuit claiming the trail was illegal should be dismissed. The attorney for plaintiffs argued the HOA did not have the authority to grant the easement for the trail. Ultimately, the judge granted the motions to dismiss the lawsuit while also dissolving the temporary restraining order that was in place. Plaintiffs have since sought to appeal the decision to the Court of Appeals. There have also been allegations made both in the lawsuit and outside of the lawsuit that the village staff, village council members, and specifically Mayor Pro Tem Kim Vandenberg have engaged in improper conduct, both generally as it relates to the Green Rate Trail system. The village and village council expressly deny any wrongdoing or improper conduct by staff, council members, and specifically Mayor Pro Tem Vandenberg, and intend to vigorously defend the allegations of improper conduct. Similarly, allegations have been made that public records requests are not being handled properly either by village staff or at the direction of village officials. The village likewise denies any and all claims that public records requests are not being handled in accordance with applicable North Carolina law. The village complies with public records request in accordance with North Carolina law and intends to continue to do so, and will vigorously defend any claims of noncompliance with North Carolina public record. And that's our statement. So that being said, we're going to move forward on our work session. We are at
New business.
new business. All right.
No.
All right. Discussion, next up, we have discussion of cost estimates for assuming maintenance responsibilities for Newtown Road from the Waxhaw Marvin roundabout to the South Carolina state line. Who's got-
I'll go ahead and take that real quick. For the sake of time, this is not going to be the first time we talk about this. This is your initial conversation about taking over Newtown Road. Before you actually make decisions on this, I would like for you all to look at kind of cash flow and how this affects other projects if we take this over, or how we're going to accomplish this and kind of level set expectations. So in short, if you look at the engineered estimates that are provided in your agenda packet for taking over Newtown Road from the Waxhaw Marvin roundabout to the South Carolina line, you're looking at approximately $500,000 of an initial cost to bring it up to our standard. Additionally, you are looking at another $75,000 per year in annual maintenance, whether that's addressing some of the, issues that arise or saving up for future resurfacing at a future year when that takes place. All that material is in your agenda packets. I'm not going to go to it in too much detail because before you really make some major decisions, I want you to look at this as a whole with your road tracker sheet to see how that kind of projects things out. So on the surface, just want to make sure you guys had this information. You guys can discuss how you feel about this. Now, obviously, we would ask DOT if they would do this work before we take it over. Hopefully, they would say yes, but in the event they don't, this is what you need to be prepared for.
Did AMT take into consideration that the fact that they just did a big chunk of this work in front of the Heritage neighborhood to fix the road?
I believe it did. They went out and actually did an inventory.
And it's still that much? That
They just
seems-
recently did this, like within the last couple of
'Cause, I mean,
weeks.
they just did the roundabout.
They just did the roundabout. They just did just past the roundabout in front of the Heritage neighborhood, like all the way around the corner. It doesn't seem like it's that far for
We can-
this, for
we
this
can-
400 and where is that chart? Because I only see it in the cost estimate 475. I don't see like a, that's just how much it's going to cost.
The itemized cost, did you see that sheet?
Not that sheet. 'Cause
Okay, it
that's-
should be
Oh,
in-
that, I see it. Never mind.
Yeah, there's a asphalt patching of 12,000, an AC binder, I don't know what that is, of 58,000. Majority of it is resurfacing, which is 150, and then the thermoplast.
I mean, they're saying that it needs to be totally resurfaced.
It's
What's?
I mean,
a-
they're
it's a
talking
one and a
about,
half-
they're
one and a-
talking about like a tree removal to establish a ditch line. Like DOT's not worried about this stuff right now. They're not doing any of this.
So
Like, they're not doing any of this.
Yeah, I think the reason that they have this estimated higher is to do some of the ditch work so that it maintains the life a little bit better than what we're constantly seeing issues on Newtown Road. There's constantly potholes that are riveting out on the side, shoulder drop-offs, and I think they're addressing some of those long-term fixes in
Okay.
this. So we can pull some of this out, but it's probably going to just increase the annual maintenance.
Okay, well, I would definitely like the confirmation that this is, I mean, because this number seems wild considering how much work has already been done over there.
And to Kim's point, I think that I would like to have a conversation with the engineer and I would like to have specifics where I can understand.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
Because
So maybe like a
mean-
side conversation where they have AMT come in, not during a meeting, and just have maybe Andy and somebody else and even go out there and look at it.
I mean, I know there are some issues, but I feel like that there are I feel like that this is a little bit extravagant. I drive that road all the time and I'm always looking at it and I don't see where there's any reason to take any trees out for ditch lines unless they're actually considering widening the road. There is already an established ditch there. I don't see, maybe some cleaning and recutting of some ditches, but not taking out trees and adding more ditch work. I don't see that, but that's,
So why don't we have a kind of a separate meeting and I'll invite Councilman Wortman. Any other council members want to be at this meeting to discuss this? We'll have a meeting with AMT to go do a little field trip and see what we can take off of this. Bring it back to you all in the same token of bringing back the road tracker sheet so you can see
Yeah, that'd
how
be
those
good.
numbers will plug in. But to answer your question, it was a 1.5 inch overlay, so it wasn't an actual resurfacing. But we'll get some more.
Yeah, it's a 1.5 inch overlay is a full.
Is there anything
That's
I
why the
missed on
binder,
that?
all the extra stuff, because they're gonna put a 1.5 inch layer of asphalt on top of what's there, which is what they've done
I know that.
on every road.
But I mean, I'm
That's,
telling you,
that's the
it's like-
repaving process.
Okay.
We've just.
All right, so
yeah.
let's do some more digging. I think this is a great start. And I mean, it's not going to be it's not going to be inexpensive, but at the same time, it will prevent what we're scared of coming from South Carolina.
We've just recently, this is not unrelated, but we've just recently, got some cost estimates back on Hunter's, STIP grant that we need to plug into the Powell bill tracker, the road tracker sheet. So we want you kind of to look at some of those overruns that are projected in conjunction with any new projects that we take on. So we might run into some issues sooner than later, but we want to make sure you guys are aware of that before we make some of these big decisions. So I'll schedule that meeting with you, Councilman Wortman.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, next up, we have consider approving
That was
NCDOT's.
removed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you already did that. Okay, open topics.
Before y'all jump in real fast on open
Yep.
topics, I just wanted to mention real fast on the consent agenda, you guys did have a budget ordinance to commit some unassigned fund balance to current projects. And just making sure everyone's aware of this because you're going to see your unassigned fund balance jump down because of that. The projects that we ended up committing some of this money to because of all these new projects that we've got coming on and some potential new grants. We wanted to make sure that money was earmarked for cash flow purposes, so we don't run into issues in future years. You did approximately assign about $1.3 million in that budget amendment. So just so you're aware, that was for the Village Hall Park, the CRTPO grant that Hunter's working on, and the STRAP grant, just making sure y'all are aware of that. When you do see that drop down, that does limit the ability to fund future projects with unassigned fund balance, just making sure you're aware.
All right. Open topics. Anybody got anything? I do. It is election season coming up, so I'd like to do something similar that we did last time where we invited candidates to come here to answer questions and have like a candidate forum. I'm looking at throwing a date out there. You can change the date, but September 30th, which is a Tuesday evening, maybe 7 p.m. at Village Hall, where any of the candidates are welcome to attend. And obviously the community that have questions for the candidates. I think this would be a great opportunity to get to know the candidates. Not that it has to be a debate or anything like that. I think it was more of a casual situation where they were direct questions to us. So if you guys are open to that, I'd like to get that on the books for booking purposes, Tuesday, the 30th. And,
We'll take care of it.
okay, is the council okay with that? Where nobody has to pay for the,
We can look at are we able to waive the policy if all are invited? I mean, all candidates that would have to be invited to show no, okay.
I mean, all candidates should be invited.
they will be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say, make sure, like, let's send out something, if this is agreeable, that let's send something out.
Do we need a motion to make it?
No, to be clear, this is not a village
This
sanctioned
is
event.
not a village sanctioned event. We're just doing it at Village Hall because it is a large, spot to have it, but yeah.
The one thing that I would say about that is that I know there had been plans, I think, for the village to have kind of an informational session for new candidates.
They did that
That was
yesterday.
yesterday.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
did it. Okay. I was just saying that should probably occur.
That happened yesterday,
before
but I don't know how
that,
many
and I
people.
just wanted to make sure.
I was there, Wayne was there, Marcus was there, Angel was there, and a new candidate, Fred was there from Weddington Chase, I believe he's from.
I just wanted to make sure candidates had
Yep.
that opportunity to participate in that before,
Yeah,
before
there
that.
were, people said they were coming that didn't show up and some said that they couldn't make it, but you guys by the way, did a great job of presentation. I suggested that if we condensed that somehow and had that for the annual meetings we have for the State of the Union or whatever, that it's just a nice way to kind of let everybody know. I mean, some of the stuff Hunter was talking about, I guarantee you, people don't understand the process that goes with it. So, you know, if there's a way to do that at the annual meetings, that would be nice to have that. But we had a great meeting and, believe it or not, I
So
even,
just to be
help.
clear, we'll set the date, we'll get the date in the calendar.
okay.
We will review the policy to make sure it's within our policy. And just for clarity purposes, village resources can't be used to influence any type of political campaigns or anything like that. So make sure we're all being fair and equal to all parties, but we will get the date. He will converse with the fee. If we can waive it based on our policy and our legal analysis, then we'll do that. If not, then we can pass it over to someone who can spread the fee to amongst the candidates, however y'all want
I
to do
think,
that.
I don't even know what we did last time, if there was, I think, you know what, I think it was like, it was so minimal that I ended up paying the fee and it never.
I think it's $25, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
So,
and
I
it
mean, we'll
was-
figure that
We
out.
still invited everyone, so, but either way, whatever, but I'd like to put that on the, agenda for,
So that was
upcoming.
September 30th.
Yes,
Okay.
okay. Anything else? All right, we're on to action, review of action items.
Okay, so like we just said, we'll block off September 30th in the rental calendar for the candidate forum. Scrolling back through, we'll bring back the Newtown Road issue after doing more research, after y'all have that meeting. I've got the revisions for the community survey questions. I will get those back to Central Lina and we'll keep that project rolling. We'll execute the contract for the yoga services that was on the consent agenda. You guys had an ordinance on the consent agenda that established enforcement and penalties for no parking ordinances. That has to be on another council meeting, so you guys will see that again one more time for a second reading at the next meeting on your consent agenda. And scroll back through. I think that was most of it. I can't think of anything else. Christina, do you have anything else? We're good.
Thank you. Next up, we have review of the Mayor Pro Tem, Pro Kim list.
I don't know why I can't say it. It hasn't changed in years. Okay, you ready, Austin?
And yes,
Okay, so under the stormwater pavement condition studies, we got it today. Let's push it off to the September work session with recommendations coming from staff.
Okay.
Davey, we got an emergency exit yet for the park? Okay, Davey said we're still working on it, so let's push that to the August work session. Tyler, we got any organizations that want to help with archaeological services? Okay, Tyler said working on it. We can push the Sister City research. Let's push that to the September work session.
Mhm.
Tyler, we got trail standards in the spec manual yet?
That's Hunter, and we have that listed on my board as one of the upcoming.
Okay, so can you change that from Mr. Honeycutt to Mr. Nestor?
Done.
Yeah, we got it. It's
It's in
we're
progress.
tracking.
Okay. The LWCF grant,
That was
the
lo-
Water Conservation Fund Local Grant Program.
Water conservation. Oh, we're actually still working on that.
Okay. Working on the fence. Let's see. Davey, do we have the speed radar data to determine the times that they're speeding? Yes, it's being handled and being given to the sheriffs and they're gonna work
We
harder on
have.
those times?
Yeah, we've
Got it.
done that. Yes.
Okay, so we can check that off the list. And interlocal agreement with the senior nutrition program signed?
We've signed, we're waiting on them to sign it back. So
I just sent them an update, an email this morning or last night requesting an update.
Okay, can you just push that to the August work session?
you guys have already done what you need.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can honestly mark it off.
Okay,
on
mark it
your
off? Okay.
list, Yeah.
Market is checked. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you.
And just, Austin, you can go ahead and change Davies to his name to mine.
Okay, can,
Throughout, okay.
Thanks.
That's all. Thank you. Council comments. Wayne.
Well, thank you, staff.
Thank you. Who's next?
I don't know. Who's gonna go next? You're looking at me.
Who wants to go? John?
Just especially wanna, with the news of Davy, thank you. I think you've done a great job, really kind of congealing the whole Public Works Department and, gotten a lot of great feedback of your leadership, over the past couple of years. You will be missed and much appreciated. Also, thank you to the candidates that are here and the candidates that have filed. Look forward to, the election season is upon us and look forward to really gaining, making sure that all the residents of Marvin get a good understanding of, what we're trying to do here in Marvin and listen to old and new ideas as we go through the process here. But thank you all for having the interest in serving.
Thank you. Andy? You're good? Jamie?
To John's point, Davey, thanks so much. I truly say this with sincerity. I think that since you've been here, you've made your team much better, staff much better, and you've laid the foundation, the framework for future personnel to come in and have a standard to work towards. So thank you so much for your work and what you've done here. And I know the team will miss you, we'll miss you, staff will miss you, but best of wishes for everything that you do in the future. And thanks again for being here. The next thing I want to just bring about, because I've had people come up to me and ask me, and I know people have asked staff members and other folks about me selling my house. And the short of it all is the fact that I'm at a point where I just want to downsize. And, what I'm doing beyond that, I don't know. But my house is selling but my intent is to continue to stay right here in Marvin. I've been here for 24 years and I love it. I think it's a great place to live. I'm proud of it. But as of right now, my intent is just to stay right here and be a part of this council. And certainly if anything changes, I will certainly let anyone know. But right now, I don't, other than the fact that my intent is to continue to live here and be a part of Marvin. So just to kind of address the issue that I know people they've been concerned that I'm moving. But it is purely just a downsize and look for my next step. So for all of those that are concerned, thank you. And I hope that I've addressed this for everyone. So staff, thank you for all that you do. I mean, and another shout out to Chaplain. I know I know he's part of staff, but he does a lot of work behind the scenes for us and part of council. And thanks to council, all the council members. And for those who are putting their hat in the ring that may become a council member, it's not what it all appears to be. And there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and there are a lot of tough decisions that have to be made. If you're gonna do this to garner a new friend or a new group of friends, it's probably not the right role for you. Because there are tough decisions, and but they have to be thought out and they have to be vetted. And a lot of discussions, as Wayne said, a lot of discussions go what people don't see or hear. So, but thanks, council, for allowing me to be a part of this as well. And I appreciate all your time and your energy to what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Kim?
I would like to, Davey, thank you for all you've done. You've definitely been a great addition to council. You will be missed, or to council, to staff, to us, to the village. You will be missed. So thank you for that. yeah, thank you to staff, all of staff for all that you do, law enforcement and to council. I appreciate the support that you guys have given me and staff. So thank you for that. And that's all I got. Chris?
All right, thank you. Again, I'll reiterate, Davey, when you came on board, I don't know if I ever told you this or not, but one of your, I think, someone who knew you in your former thing, I have personal friends with, and I won't mention his name, but he said, you got a good one, and he like we stole you here. So, but we were glad to have you while you were here, and I think you've brought a lot to this community, and what you're doing, and the need for the position is very obvious. So we appreciate all efforts, and we wish you always the best in going forward. And I know retirement ages are getting closer and stuff like that, but I mean, I know you're looking out for you, which is what you should be doing, which all of us should be doing. But we were glad to have you while you're here. I think you just did a fantastic job and represented Marvin at a high level, and we appreciated having you while you're here. So thank you for that. So I'll mention his name later in person. I'll see staff, again, thank you. I don't know if you know this, but I think you guys clearly put in a lot of work to the effort on the meeting we had yesterday. It went over. It was over 3 hours of just bringing it in. And I think it's important that we're as transparent as we can be in sharing ideas, which we did, but also more importantly, having them understand how government works. And I think I mentioned earlier, we have annual meetings where, you know, people can come together and ask questions, and we hold those forums. Having a condensed version of that, I guarantee you, most of the people don't know how the process works, and having that, all of your different roles and what that means. But thank you for putting together that, taking the effort and the time to put that together. It's almost like a job description of what you guys do and what you have to go through. So with that, again, I truly thank you. For the people who are running this upcoming election, thank you for throwing your hat in the ring. You know, sometimes you have two choices. You can either be a part of the problem, or you can be a part of the solution. And we as council members are trying to be a part of the solution. And I think it's truly with good intent. We all moved here for, you know, I was looking at how I was explaining what I've been through. I've lived in multiple states, owning homes in multiple states. And I will tell you, this is a special place. And all the places we've lived, by far, this is one of our favorites, just because of the way the community is, and we're not going anywhere. And I just like to continue to be a part of that solution. And maybe that changes, maybe not, but either way, I appreciate everyone who has thrown their hat in the ring, because that's a big deal, because now they'll understand how people will start throwing daggers at them and stuff. We get it all the time. We wear our big boy pants, or girl pants here, I guess I should say. And, but you know, a lot of this stuff that's happening on a national level is, we were talking about, this happens on a local level, and it happens in all communities. And we need to be patient and go through the process, and that's what we're doing. And I truly believe we're doing all the right things on this end. So thank you, council. Thank you, staff. And with that, I will ask to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
All is in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We have lunch?